Hello everyone, my name is Quinn. I came from Vietnam on February 26 of 2006. It's been almost 10 years since the first day that I set my first steps in the US. And as an immigrant, I do get stereotypes regarding my personal identity. And to understand what kind of stereotypes that I want to mention here, please watch the following video.
Hi there.
Hi.
Nice day, huh?
Yeah, finally, right?
Where are you from? Your English is perfect.
San Diego. We speak English there.
Oh, no. Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Orange County, but I never actually lived there.
I mean before that.
Before I was born.
Yeah, where are your people from?
Well, my great-grandma was from Seoul.
Korean. I knew it. I was like, she's either Japanese or Korean. But I was leaning more towards Korean.
Amazing.
Yeah. Hamshasina. There's a really good teriyaki barbecue place near my apartment. So I actually really like kimchi.
Cool. What about you? Where are you from?
San Francisco.
But where are you from?
Oh, I'm just American.
Really? You're Native American?
No, just regular American. Oh, well, I guess my grandparents are from England.
Oh, well. Hello, Governor! What's all this then? Top of the morning to you. Let's get a small tea. Double, toil and trouble. Mind the gap! Beware, Jack the Ripper! Bloody hell! Pip pip! Cheerio! I think your people's fish and chips are amazing.
You're weird.
Really? I'm weird? Must be a Korean thing.
That video was probably familiar to everybody because it was spread on Facebook and YouTube. I found the video that I attached here on YouTube under the name What Kind of Asians Are You? And the video was uploaded under the account name Help Me Find My Parents. The link to the video will be in the reference section, so if anyone is interested in finding the video, they can find it there. So now back to the racial stereotypes. We can see that the girl in the video was mistakenly thought to be coming from Korea even though she was born in Orange County and currently lives in San Diego. That was just one out of millions of situations where you can get racial stereotypes. I can take one of my experience as an example. I was on a flight back to Vietnam last year. My flight was a combination of 3 airlines combined on a plane of China Airlines. There were China Airlines, Delta Airlines, and Vietnam Airlines. However, the majority of customers were the ones of China Airlines. We were mostly Asians, of course. So one of the flight attendants came to me. She was not an Asian, so I understood that she could not distinguish between a Chinese and a Vietnamese. Even Vietnamese and Chinese sometimes can't even do that. So the flight attendants came to me, gave me a guidance because I was sitting right next to the emergency exit door. Before I could grab it, she turned the guidance to the side that had Chinese words on it. Of course, I could not understand any words on it because it was not the language that I could understand or read. So I grabbed the guidance, turned it to the English side, and read it. At the end, she apologized because she thought I was Chinese. It was a very small incident, but we could see that everybody set certain stereotypes for others. As a matter of fact, one of my students from tutoring could be a perfect example for how we as an American society has set stereotypes toward each other. His name is Alan Gordon, but he goes by AG. Mr. Gordon is an African American who is in his 40s. He currently works as a musician and a student in computer science at San Francisco State. We had a brief interview at Starbucks Coffee to discuss what he had experienced in his entire life. And the interview was as follows. So, okay. Okay, so the first question, were you born in the US or were you born outside the US?
I was born in the US. Oh, look at the camera.
So, were you born in California?
I was born in the Bay Area, a city called Santa Clara.
Okay, so, what was your family origin?
Family comes from here in the United States, and then my family comes from the Caribbean.
Okay. So, what is your current job right now?
A current job? My current job is I'm a reggae artist, musician, full-time student.
So, being a grown man with many life experience, how would you identify yourself in terms of race and ethnicity?
How would I identify myself? As far as like, what do I call myself?
Yeah.
If anything, I call myself an African. My origin ranged from Africa, even though I was born in the States and my family comes from different parts of the Caribbean. I call myself what I come from, and I come from Africa.
So, what makes you identify yourself the way you do?
Just knowledge of myself, knowing history, knowing my, my people. All my life since I was a youngster, I've studied lots of history. So knowing the history of who I am and where my bloodline comes from, I have to call myself the source, and the source is Africa.
So how does society identify you?
Oh, it depends on what society we're talking about. There's many different titles they like to call us. Here they like to call us African Americans or Negroes or black. I just choose the term African. It makes it simpler.
So how does that affect you, like when you think about it?
How does it affect me? What they call me, as far as what I call myself?
How does it affect you when they call you such words?
Doesn't bother me. A lot of people have been stuck on certain titles because that's just what they have been called for the last 40, 50 years in this country. Okay. But, as we elevate and as we get knowledge, we realize that certain titles are not really us.
So what do you think about the racial issues in the U.S.?
Ooh, that'd take hours. But, it's basically, it's been going on for many, 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 many years. It's not new. A lot of it has been swept under the rug, or we didn't have the technology the last 20, 30 years that they have today. So a lot of the occurrences that you're seeing, it's not like it's a new issue. It's something that has been going on. But now that we have cameras and videos and everybody has them, we're getting to see it firsthand now. So you can't really deny it. You can't really say that these issues exist. It's something that needs to get addressed, and it needs to get addressed without sweeping it under the rug. A lot of people want to put the blinders on and say it doesn't, like everything is good. We have a black president, so there's no racial issues anymore, and that's far from the truth. So, it's deeper than that, but that's the quick answer,
Okay. So, how is your opinion, your personal view right now different from how you thought about it in your teenage age or in your 20s, 30s?
It's not much difference. I was blessed to be aware of certain circumstances when I was in my pre-teens. Like I said, I used to read a lot. I used to have a lot of books, encyclopedias, and my parents made sure we were very aware of what's going on in the world today. So I was aware of the racial issues, I would say, when I was 11, 12 years old. I used to study and know about what happened to our people and slavery and just history of America and history of the world. So it's not new.
So did your parents talk to you about it?
They talked to us about it. They gave us books to read. They let us know. My father grew up in Texas, and the first time he took us to Texas in 1978, we went to a store, and some little kid called us a nigger. This is in 1978. So from then, my parents let me know, and I was only 7 years old then. So I was baptized into what really happens in the world young.
So has your personal view been different, you say?
No, I've seen this. Like I said, I've seen reality and truth from young. From that day, I knew there were certain differences between us. We're all the same, but just how people look at us, and people will judge you different because of your race, your color, your ethnicity, or where you come from. So that's the world we live in.
So have you encountered anything personally
Oh,
related to this?
I've been through racism my whole life. I've experienced it. I've been through it. You know, it's something as a person of color we all go through.
So what are some changes you would like to see happen in the U.S.?
That's another rough one. But changes. Just knowledge of self. People to start realizing that nobody is different from the next. We might have different shades, different tones, different structures, different places we come from. But until people start realizing that saying all lives matter, until they really start really believing that, the country's not going to change. So what I would like to see is people to really start realizing that everybody's the same, you know. But that's going to take a lot, because there's so much history in this country that took place that one group of people doesn't really want to acknowledge certain things, because that would require them to really give up certain things that they have attained, drew certain things that were done to another set of people. So it's just going to have to come to balance. The world is going to have to balance out. America's going to have to balance out. That's in short term, it's just going to have to balance.
Thank you for your opinion. Mr. Gordon was one of many examples of African American that were suffering from racial stereotypes. For example, we've seen many examples on the news that, you know, African American men were killed because they were thought to be a threat to police or, you know, other people. We must be conscious about this, because everybody wants to live an equal life. Everybody wants to be, you know, equal to other people and have the same opportunity to find jobs, you know, friends, neighbors, etc. Thank you for watching.